Because if you don't have a vision
Yeah.
or purpose,
Yeah.
then sooner or later you will start using people.
And that's when the whole mistrust comes
That's where
into
the
play.
control comes, because the true leadership is not about control.
Yeah.
The true leadership, it's all about.
So, as a follow-up to this whole conversation, all the juiciness, what is some tips or advice that you can give to leaders or up-and-coming leaders, those that are entering into ministry, and what can you share with them about trusting people and learning how to trust people in church or in ministry or wherever they may have been placed?
Yeah, I believe we need to ask different question. If people can trust you as a leader,
Ooh.
so that if we come to the truth,
Yeah.
we need to understand that leadership it's not about people. The true leadership it's about purpose.
Yeah.
People don't want to follow you if you don't have a purpose. People will follow the purpose
Yes.
that
And
you
just
have.
you just happen to be the leader.
Yes, and then people want to follow that purpose.
Yes.
And that's why you are working with people, because some of the leaders they just want to have that position to control people or to dominate or to feel special.
Yeah.
Because the true leadership it's not even what you do, it's who you become.
Yeah.
So we need to focus, who we become more than what we are doing.
Yeah.
And people they will recognize that.
Yeah. And so it no longer becomes, oh, can I trust people so long as you're doing your purpose?
Of course, because if you don't have a vision
Yeah.
or purpose,
Yeah.
then sooner or later you will start using people.
And that's when the whole mistrust comes
That's where
into
the
play.
control comes, because the true leadership is not about control.
Yeah.
The true leadership, it's all about how to inspire people. The inspiration,
Yeah.
the highest form of leadership.
Yeah. To be able to inspire others.
We need to know how to inspire people with the vision
Yeah.
and with the purpose that you are
Going after.
Going after, yes.
100%.
So what I'm trying to say, that when you don't have a vision as a leader, when you don't have a purpose as a leader, sooner or later you will start using people.
Yeah.
But when you have a vision,
Yeah.
you will begin to equip people.
And so a lot of it is, I think, that if people are facing mistrust with leaders or they're facing mistrust with the people they're leading, maybe it could be a good time to have some reflection on who you are, where you're at, and what your heart looks like with regards to leadership.
Yes.
Yeah. So, following up with this whole leadership and what the true heart of leadership looks like, how do you deal with opposition or controversy or accusation when people turn against you as you step into ministry? And how do you let it not affect you? So, for example, say someone young is in their church and feels a calling to do evangelism, and their church elders are like, "You're too young." What advice can you give to someone that is facing opposition or is facing accusations or controversy as they have a heart to step into ministry?
I think there is so many ministers operating out of insecurity. Before you start anything, you need to hear from the Lord.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you can hear from the Lord that God called you to do something, then you understand that your calling comes out of the obedience, and God Himself
Yeah.
called you to do that. I believe there is so many ministers, they started their own ministry without that voice. They felt it's a right time to do something,
Yeah.
or there is a need for something. But concerning the calling, we truly need to hear from the Lord. And when God called you, with His word,
Yeah.
faith comes inside of you.
Yeah.
Every time when God give you a word, there is a seed of faith deposit in your
Yeah.
spirit.
He deposits it into you.
So then you need to focus on your calling more than all those voices around you. You cannot be distracted with any opinions of people that comes, on your way. You need to focus on the calling and what God called you to do. It helps me to stay focused. I know that God called me.
Yeah.
And I know that He placed that desire and faith inside of me.
Yeah.
And it's growing.
And actually, I want to kind of piggyback off of that because the follow-up question was, what was your process before you launched Flame of Fire? Because I remember what you've shared multiple times is that you were still part of a local church. You still served under a local pastor, even though you openly talked with him about what God placed inside of you.
Yes, in my case, when I encountered Jesus in 2002 and he spoke to me that he will send me around the world, he did not say when. And I asked him, what do you want me to do? And he said, I want you to seek my face.
Yeah.
And I asked him, what is your face? And he said, my face in the book of Genesis, chapter 3. My face is my voice, and you can find my voice in my presence. So he told me to seek his face into my last breath. That's where my focus needs to be. I need to pursue him. And in the right time, he's going to call me.
Yeah.
So I began to serve in one of the local church here in
Okay,
Sacramento.
so I'm going to interrupt you there. Why did you choose to begin to serve at a local church? Because I think this is kind of where the problem arises, is that so often you have this, like, I had this wow moment with God and I know he's called me, but what do I do in the meantime? And sometimes people end up doing nothing in the meantime. Why did you make the choice to plug into a local church and serve in the local church?
First of all, I believe that you cannot truly love Jesus and not to love his body.
And not love his body, yeah.
And not love his body. And when I gave my life to Christ in one of the churches here, in those days, I received so many invitations from different places.
Yeah.
They were inviting me to go and become a part of that ministry, But I heard from the Lord very clear that I place you here and I want to raise you here and I want to teach you how to value one soul and I want to teach you how to serve my people.
Yeah.
So I believe the best place where we can learn and practice God's love and the true leadership and ministering to people, it's the local body.
Yeah.
And I was raised there, and I thank God for the local community here in Sacramento. But my prayer was with my wife, God, we will never go anywhere unless you will commend us, unless we're going to hear it from you that this is the right time to go. And we were waiting for 7 years, serving people, serving local community, into the season in 2009, when for few months, God was speaking to me from everybody, from everything, every direction you can name it. I'm telling you, if you pursue the purpose of God, you will never miss. You will never miss it.
Yeah.
If you have intimacy with the Lord, you will never miss it.
Yeah.
One thing that we need to understand, that God is interested of our purpose.
He's so interested,
more than we do.
Yeah.
So don't worry, pursue God, build relationship with Him, develop that intimacy with the Holy Spirit, serve a local community into the moment that God will speak to you clearly. You're not gonna miss that, because God was speaking to me, I'm serious, from everything, from the clock, from the walls, from pain, like from the scriptures, from people, like everywhere I go, everything was speaking to me. This is your time. You need to go. You need to do what God called you to do. Into the moment that I couldn't pray anymore. I couldn't read Bible anymore. Everything I was reading speaking to me that my time is now. It's now. God is sending to me all the dreams and all. So you're not gonna miss that.
Yeah. It's actually interesting. I will always remember the one of the first sermons that I ever heard you preach. I was back in my church in Florida, and you spoke about Joshua, and you showed Joshua and who he was with Moses, and it was be faithful in the small and be faithful in somebody else's.
Yes.
Literally about Joshua, it's written that he was Moses' servant, and I think we don't fully grasp the understanding of what the word servant means in the Old Testament. It's probably way worse than we even imagine of what he had to do, but it wasn't even his vision to lead the Israelites out. He was just faithful.
One more thing about serving.
Yeah.
To serve people, you don't need platform.
Yeah.
You need to understand this. To serve people, you don't need platform.
Yeah. It's not about the mic or the stage.
To serve people, you just need to use your time. It's now. use your opportunities
Yeah.
to serve people around you. And I'm telling you, God is watching your heart. God is seeing your heart. And if when you have that right motives before the Lord, that you want to love people, you want to serve people, I'm telling you, God will lift you up. My name is Shapoval, and every week I will be teaching you and I will help you as I'll continue to grow in Him to understand the whole plan of God concerning your life. So I want you to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and I want you to enjoy this channel. It's gonna bless your life.